Welcome to math class, where today we are writing linear equations in point-slope form, given 2 points. Okay, so our objective is you're going to be given a point and another point, not necessarily the slope, but generally it works the exact same way. We're going to be given a point and the slope for our line. We're going to write the equation for the line with the given slope that will go through the given point. So before we move into the 2 points here, let's just recap what we're supposed to do when you have a point and the slope. So whenever you have the point, so like x1, y1, and slope, you're going to plug it in or substitute it into the point slope formula. And when you do that, you're always going to change the signs of your x1 and y1. So if they are positive, when you push it into the equation, you flip the sign. You make it minus x1. So if it's plus x1, you make it minus x1. If it's plus y1, you make it minus y1. Okay, and this is the general form that we are going to be using. We're not going to use the form on the right because later we're going to rewrite the equations. So what do you do if you have 2 points and they haven't given you the slope? Well, if you have 2 points such as x1, y1, and x2, y2, then the first thing you need to do is find the slope of the line. And so we have our formulas. We have the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or if you're doing this on paper, you can just simply take the second point minus the first point, or the first point minus the second point. Order of that doesn't matter. And then you just put your change in y over your change in x. And then once you figure out what the slope is, you're going to choose a point and use the slope that you found to substitute it into point slope formula. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's say we have these 2 points here. So we've been given 2 points, 2, 5, and 6, 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and plug this over into Desmos so I can show you what that would look like. So we have our first point at 2, 5. So let's go ahead and create it. First point is going to be over at 2, 5. And then our second point is going to be over at 6, 9. So we're going to go 6 all the way up to 9. Now, the first thing you have to do is you have to calculate the slope. So let's jump back over real quick. So we're going to jump back over, maybe. There we go. And we're going to calculate the slope. So the slope is change in y over change in x. And I'm going to do this first my way, doing 1 point minus the other point. So we're going to go 6, 9, and we're going to subtract the point to 5. Okay. Now, as I do the subtraction here, we're going to go 6 minus 2. Well, that is 4. This is my change in x. 9 minus 5 is 4. That is my change in my y. So my slope is 4 over 4, which is just 1. Okay. Now, we're going to write it into its formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, for this, again, just like we did in the last video, we're going to do y equals, open parentheses, x, and there. Okay, so as I get to each part, I get to the y1. y1 is plus 5, so we're going to make it minus 5. Okay, my m, we figured out was 1. Okay, so there's my m. And then my x1 is plus 2, so we're going to make it minus 2. So I told you that all you have to do is choose 2 points. Well, let's show what this equation looks like in Desmos real quick. So in Desmos, we have our slope. The first thing we'd have to do is calculate the slope between those 2 points. So let's do our y2 minus y1. We get 4. Let's do our x2 minus x1. That is also 4. So to create the slope, what is 4 divided by 4? It's 1. So let's define our slope then. Since it's 4 over 4, or 1, which is also over 1, there's our slope. We can do 4 over 4, and there you have it. 4 over 4 is equal to 1. So we have a slope of 1. So the goal is, let's draw the line that goes through both of those points. Let's test the equation that we came up with. The first equation, or the equation we came up with, was y minus 5 equals 1 times x minus 2. And as you can see, it covers up the dotted line. Is this the only equation that I could have done? So the point was that I said choose one point is all you have to do. So could I have chosen the other point and came up with the same equation? So instead of y1 and x1, we're going to use x2 and y2. So let's go y minus, let me break this up here. So we're going to say y minus y2 is equal to m times x minus x2. So again, just go in and substitute. So we're going to have y minus 9 equals m of 1 times x minus 6. Although I have different values in the equation, the slope is still the same, but the point that I used was different. Are these actually the same equations? Do they go through both points? So let's jump back into Desmos. Let's try the second equation. Let me go ahead and hide this one. The second equation we came up with was y minus 9 equals 1 times x minus 6. And there you have it. As you can see, both lines or both equations can be used to describe this line. So let's do one more example. So let's use the point 0, -2, and 4, 3. So again, let's go through and just label our parts: x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's calculate the slope. So m is change in y over change in x. So we're going to go, let's use the actual formula this time. We're going to go 3 minus -2, so 3 plus 2, over 4 minus 0. This is going to give us a slope of 5 over 4. Okay, now we're going to use the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we're going to have, and I'll write this all in red, so it'll be y plus 2 equals 5/4 x minus 0, or plus 0. The second form of the equation can be taken as y minus 3 equals 5/4 x minus 4. So let's go ahead and plug those into Desmos: 0, -2, and 4, 3. And let's see if we came up with the same equations, or see if we came up with the equations that are correct. So the first point, we'll go ahead and get rid of these two equations. We'll get rid of our slopes here. Let's take our points. First one's at 0, -2, which we happen to have the y-intercept. Our second point I already forgot it. Short-term memory, it's at 4, 3. So 4, 3. As you can see on here, this line that's currently on the screen does not go through that point. Let's get rid of it for a second, and let's define what our slope is. So first things first, y2 minus y1. We get 5. Then our x's, x2 minus x1. We get 4. And just to verify it, our slope is 5 divided by 4, which is going to be 1.25. We're going to turn that into its fraction to simplify it further, and it's already fully simplified. So next, we're going to draw the line. No. Next, I will draw the line, but let me fix the slope. So it should be 5 over 4. Okay, and now I'll draw the line, and there you go. So the first equation we came up with was y plus 2 equals 5/4 x minus 0. And as you can see, it goes through both of the points and covers up the dashed line. Let me go ahead and hide this one. Let's try the next equation. Y minus 3 equals 5/4 x minus 4. And there you have it. As you can see, either equation is correct. Thank you for watching.